want you guys, if you can tell me if you see this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is essentially going to be kind of a year in review for us. Pardon me while I get rid of this. It's been an interesting year, to say the least. We've had, I think, some pretty significant accomplishments as a club. But for me, with any organization I belong to, it kind of starts with a plan. If you don't have a roadmap of what it is that you want to do and what you want to accomplish, it's easy to get detoured and get off track. So we started with the Rotary International Action Plan, and as you know, we built in some of our own goals and objectives to align as closely as we could with the Rotary International Strategic Plan for 2019, and that should be through 2020, not 2029. I'm not that forward leaning. So that's where we started. And we did. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of are the fact, it's this one. The world really does need more Rotarians. And we were truly blessed to get in some outstanding people during the course of this past year, including these folks: Jay Bearbay, Lena Moan, Charlie Seaman, Emma Hale, Sean Finnerty, and Taylor Houston from Promising Pages. We were just blessed to get in the group of folks that we got in. So thank you, Sean. I think you're the only one that's here of this group, but thank you for being a Rotarian. Thank you for making that decision. I think partnerships are also important. We've continued to build our partnerships this year. We reinforced the partnership that we had with UNCC through a contribution to the Niner Food Pantry earlier this year. One of the things I was most proud of is our formal partnership with Sedgefield Middle School, where we instituted our Project Hygiene there for feminine hygiene care, as well as the district project that we did with Whitewater Middle School. At Sedgefield, we participated in the science fair project that they had there. Brett Turner showed up for that and acted as a judge. We have supported their athletic booster program. We've participated in their book buddy program. Charlie Seaman participated in that. We've also participated in monthly community partners meetings, and Kelly and Lena have been to a few of those as well. I really appreciate their involvement. And most importantly, we've supported their parent-teacher organization, which is really an outstanding group. So I think as we look at establishing community partnerships in the future, it's important that we not just make it a touch and go, that we actually have skin in the game with these partners. We've got it with Sedgefield. And interestingly, when I first met with Sedgefield, they didn't know about Rotary, even though their principal was a former Rotarian. They didn't know of the existence of our club. And now I think it's safe to say that we are and have been one of their key partners for this past school year, and they appreciate the things that have been done, especially with the Project Hygiene there. But we've also strengthened our partnership with Reed Charlotte through continued participation in the ELPS tutoring program. It was so cool to have Sonia Castellino as our speaker last year, and she talked about us being partners with our club being the only Rotary club, in fact, that is a partner with Reed Charlotte, and we are now helping with the rollout of their program that's designed to close the gap, the deficit that students in the CMS system will all have as a result of the closures, the early school closures. So we're proud to be a part of that. We joined Charmec Responds, one of 210 partner organizations that came together in March to assist with projects through COVID as a result of COVID-19. And we were kind of latecomers to the organization. But again, we only found out about this partnership because of one of our speakers. When we had Susan Rodriguez McFarland, a county commissioner, she shared with us that, perhaps we should reach out to the school board. And we reached out to Jennifer De La Hera, and she connected us with Charmick Responds and gave us the opportunity to be not only one of 210 partner organizations, but the only Rotary Club to be a partner organization for Charmick Responds. This is a partnership I'm really proud of because since May the 6th, and Sean, this is what I'll be asking you to participate in next week. But since May the 6th, we've participated in 8 separate events. We've had 68 separate volunteer opportunities for Rotarians and Friends of Rotary. Those 68 volunteer opportunities have been filled by the presence of 30 separate individuals, including 22 Rotarians, 2 interactors, and 6 friends from 6 separate Charlotte area Rotary and Interact clubs, including Charlotte West International, South MEC, and of course, our own IMEC Interact club, and naturally our club. So I was doing some number crunching last night, and I estimate that we've packed more than 4,000 food boxes for second harvest and sorted through more than 100 boxes of medications at NC MedAssist, which is a pretty decent accomplishment. And you may want to open the microphones because I can't see if people want to ask questions or not. But I really want this to be kind of interactive. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please just jump right in. This is not meant to be me just talking. And speaking of Interact, I was really proud of this. I mean, the reason Interact, it all comes back to relationships. The IMEC Academy reached out to us because their coordinator, Jaya Werner, had been an exchange student a few years ago. Jaya looks like she could still be an exchange student, but she reached out to us because she knew about Rotary. It was Rotary's reputation that caused her to say, you know what, we should start an Interact club here. We should get these kids, have them have an opportunity to get involved with Rotary. Now, she had a selfish motive, but it's a good selfish motive. This is a Title I school. These kids don't have the opportunity as they prepare for college to get involved in service projects. And that's something that colleges really take a hard look at. They want to know what you've done. It's not enough to be just a good student. They want to know what you've done to help make the community better. But these kids have transportation issues. They have economic issues. They just can't pick up and go whenever they want to. So giving them an opportunity to interact with us created some opportunities for them to get involved in some things that they could use for branding themselves, for helping improve their opportunities to get into college or some career network course. And they were chartered in the fall. We had the distinct pleasure to have one of them participate in the New Gen Peace Building Project. Their project started a project with human trafficking. And then we've had Vanessa here, as you can see in the second and third pictures, who's participated in several projects at NC MedAssist, helping us sort through some medications there. They started their own project in January of this year, where they decided they wanted to help generate some funds for Australian bushfire relief. And David Hodgkins, thank you to you and Alan Lozier for going up to the school as often as you did and for helping to coordinate these things. It's just been a pleasure to work with these kids and to see them grow in their confidence and hopefully help them become not only more productive members of society, but giving them an opportunity to improve their lives. So this to me is one of our most significant accomplishments for the year. I'm going to jump back to Project Hygiene here. This was a huge opportunity for us. I'm still amazed that Procter & Gamble did a study that showed that 1 of 5 girls in America, in this country, misses school because of a lack of access to feminine hygiene products. And that's just something that should not happen in our country. So we designed Project Hygiene to create feminine hygiene supplies to girls in middle schools. But at Whitewater, we did something even more special. We put together, and Pat Morgan and Tom Filson and John Behringer on that grant team put together an outline, a project that would actually help educate all of the students there, because it's important that boys understand what's going on, that what's going on with girls' bodies is perfectly normal. It's perfectly natural. And it's not anything to be ashamed of. It's nothing to giggle at or sniggle about. So this is the kind of thing that Rotary, for me, needs to do. We help to open doors. We help to create access. And that's how our kids succeed. We're making a difference at Sedgefield too, where attendance was actually improving. I don't have any figures for Whitewater, but I gotta believe that we helped to make a difference there as well. So thank you, grant team, for that. Some of our other projects, we had street cleanups on East-West Boulevard, of course. And again, that's David, Pete Huberger. Thank you guys for that. We did several projects at Living Children's Hospital. We provided funds for a new prosthetic device for Juan Pablo. And again, David Hodgkins, many thanks for driving that. We generated funds for Loaves and Fishes in support of the Providence Club. We volunteered for Second Harvest. One of the times we were able to volunteer was in October of 2019, September of 2019 at Crisis Assistance. We assisted Promising Pages right after the school closures. We tutored at 2 Title I schools, and of course we participated in Salvation Army bell ringing. And what great participation we had with that. David Miller, thank you for all of the work that you've done in organizing that, getting people on board. And it's a fun thing. It's a great way to meet people and just to convey not only the good things that Salvation Army is doing, but the partnership that we have with the Salvation Army. Dilworth Charities, another significant accomplishment for us. We have really built this website that now allows people to make contributions depending on the area of focus that they may have a particular interest in. They can also designate funds in an undesignated area. But we were really happy with Dilworth Charities. The look of it now, one of the things we want to do in the upcoming year, of course, is to really optimize it and push it out through our signature fundraising project, which hopefully will take place at some point in Ranjit's year, depending on what happens with COVID. But really happy with this. Happy with the effort that Joy has put into it. Eric, thank you for your commitment to participate in this. We're looking forward to it. Ranjit, thank you for your work with the Dilworth Charities. And just as we started with a plan, you always have to look toward the future. So one of the things, again, that I'm proud of is the strategic planning team that we were able to put together. That consisted of Jay, Charlie, David Hodgkins, Jenny, Joy, and myself. And we met probably a half dozen times or more over the course of the past few months to talk about our new website, which will be rolled out at the beginning of the new Rotary year. And of course, our Party in the Park signature fundraising event, which had to be postponed due to COVID. But it's that kind of planning and that kind of thinking that will help Rotary maintain its status in the community as the premier organization for getting things done. We have to plan for the future. We have to devote resources to necessary projects. We have to work within the community structure to understand what the issues are and how we can address those issues through our areas of focus. And it's not hard work. It's just, it does take time to do this and to understand what the issues are impacting the community. I've heard so many times about from people who know Rotary a lot better than I do about how in the past, too many times we've come in with ideas on how to do things without really assessing the problem and understanding what the problem is. And so listening is a good part of the planning. And I think we're becoming more adept at doing that. One of our most significant accomplishments is having a defined leadership strategy for the next few years, beginning with President Ron Jeet coming on board July 1st, President-elect now beginning July 1st, Kelly Cates, and then Jay Barabay being our president nominee effective July 1st. So it's good that we have this diversity of people involved in our leadership planning and strategy as we look toward the future. So any comments or questions or anything like this at this point?
Kevin?
Yeah.
Just one question back to the food thing that that was great to do down at the convention center. You and I can't remember, but you and Ranjit ran the numbers. Each one of those food boxes of the 4,000. How many meals was that supposed to? How many meals did they tell us that the average of those boxes would do?
It's between 3 and 7, depending on, of course, the size of the family,
right.
And how, as you know, sometimes the boxes are different.
Right.
They try to make them nutritionally balanced more than anything else, but sometimes the quantity varies depending on what they have available. But ideally, it's between 3 and 7.
So if we say an average of 5, that's 20,000 meals.
No, so the day we boxed on, the 19th of May,
right,
we did 936 boxes, which was roughly 56,100 meals.
Wow.
Because it's 3 meals, 4 people in a household times 5 days, or all that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
it was a tremendous amount.
It is a tremendous amount. Yeah, and that's. I'm trying to, I just kind of focus because that's a variable that we really don't know.
Right.
But we do know how many boxes roughly that we've packed and the communities we're serving. Right. That's what when I was crunching the numbers, I thought, my God, 4,000, that's pretty impressive.
Great.
Any other questions?
John had his hand up. You still have a question, John?
I can't see anybody because my presentation's up.
John, did you still have a question?
No, I can deal with that some other time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move on here. So these are just some of the stats that some of the metrics we were participating in or that we recorded in Club Central. So for club membership, we set a goal of 44 members for the year, even though we only have 39 currently. We still increased our net membership in the club, so I'm happy with that. Service participation, we set a goal of 43. So far, we've had 70 individual Rotarians participating in service events. New member sponsorship, we set a goal of 3. We've reached 5. Rotarian Action Group participation, we were 2 for 2. Leadership development participation, again, a goal of 2. We accomplished that. district conference attendance, which was difficult considering there was no district conference, but we got credit for the mid-year district conference that was held at UNCC. So 1 of 1 for that. District training participation, we set a goal of 4, and we actually had 6 people attending that, including the grants training. Our annual funds contribution, I was really happy to see this. We set a goal of 7,500, and to date we've met that. In fact, $8,350 thus far. Polio Plus, our goal was 2,500, and we're at 2,509 as of today.
Great.
Request Society members, 1 of 1, set a goal of 1. We did meet that. Service projects, I can't see it.
Kevin, that is a very impressive number. 22 of 7. That's
Thank you. Yeah,
really
I could see it.
On that.
And this one's going to grow as well, because we're going to have at least 2 more for the month of June at NC MedAssist. So I was really happy to see that. Interact Clubs one is interesting. They're giving us credit for 2 because they still have us at South Mac High School, even though I did remove us from participation in that. Club Central is still giving us credit for it. But it's actually only 1 of 1, but they're giving us credit for 2. So whatever. RILA participation, 1 of 1. Strategic plan, yes. Online presence, yes. I want to thank Jimmy and Joy for the work that they've done in giving us such a significant online presence. Just a tremendous job. Social activities, 3 of 3. Updating the website again, Jenny. 23 of. We set a monthly goal once per month, but we're at 23, and I'm sure that will change. And then collaboration with a non-Rotary partner. We get a big yes for that. So all in all, we have done very well in terms of meeting our goals. I got a note, all of the president-elects got a note from Beth last night saying that 19 clubs had actually increased their membership in this year in some challenging circumstances, but it was good to see our name, the Dilworth Club, on that list. And it was also good to see that we have achieved the presidential citation for this year as well. So thank you, everybody, for the work that you've done in helping us to meet these goals. So this is kind of our look back over the year. Before we started, I just wanted to say, we lost 2 really wonderful people this year. Horace Lamar, longtime Rotarian, honorary member, had moved to Georgia to be closer to his family. I saw this picture. I got it from Joy's Facebook page, but I thought it was so important because USO was such a big part of his life, and an organization that he just supported so much. So I think that this was a pretty telling picture. And I'm thankful too, while we're talking about USO, to have Joy and David involved with USO. You guys do an awesome job, and I thank you so much for that. Dr. Neil Howell, this guy, one of the smartest people I've ever talked to, without a doubt. But a tremendous loss for him, but a gentleman. Every single time I talked to Neil, he just had always positive, always upbeat, just a gentleman. Helped so many people over the course of his life, and an outstanding Rotarian. So, some more memories. I had to share the official parking pass that you see in the top right-hand corner. That you know what, David Hodgkins, I treasure this. This is like something I will keep for the rest of my life.
Cyclist stuff, you know?
That is the official thing there. That I love that.
But you got to add a biscuit to that.
A biscuit, right? Well, it looks like Bob Lyons got a biscuit in his hand here. If you can see that.
Good. Yeah.
But you know what? These guys, this is the kind of stuff that keeps us together. You know, we haven't had an opportunity to do a lot of this lately, but I'm so thankful for the times we got to spend at Second Harvest this year. And the time we got to clean streets, just some fun times, and we're doing the work of Rotary. We also had an opportunity last year to take a step back and look at who we were as a club. I had a lot of fun putting together stories on Jim Whittington and the Park Elevator Company and Harvey Woodruff. Just some wonderful, wonderful history here. That's something that I love to tell people about as I'm talking about Rotary. I love to tell people that we are the first Charlotte area club to spin off from the Uptown Club. And we've got such a rich history and a rich tradition because it helps to define who we are today. And the more we can tap into our past and to know who we are, I know I'm preaching to the choir to a lot of you. I think the more meaningful it is for people who hear our story, because we do have a wonderful story. And some of the things that we didn't work out the way I wanted them to. This was our first social event of the year. It was supposed to be a new member event, but it turned into more of a social event, which was fine. We had fun at this brewery, not too far from Promising Pages. And I think we solved a lot of the world's problems that night. This was our Polio Plus planning event. We had Tom Smith show up and give us a pitch for Polio Plus. And then I had the good fortune to meet a friend of John Behringer's who's in the media. Chris, is that his name, John?
Yeah, Chris Clackham.
Chris Clackham, yeah, great guy. And we had some great plans for the polio event, but just didn't quite work out again. So I shared these two slides with you, just not only in terms of memories, but to say, you know, you can never be accused of not trying, even if things don't necessarily work out. I think you always have to try to reach certain goals and to have certain outcomes, even if they don't necessarily come to fruition. You can have fun in the process. And then we spent some time at Levine Children's Hospital. That's Kate's grandson there who helped us out in a heart project. And we had a young patient at Levine Children's Hospital who received a doll on one of our events while we were there. And then we had bingo a couple of times this year. Angie leading the way there. And we had a really suspicious group here on the right side, participating in a subsequent bingo event. But I'll tell you, Dave, Angie, Kelly, Pete, it's just always a lot of fun working with these folks. We finally got a storage facility last year and got some of the stuff out of David's warehouse. He kindly allowed us to store a bunch of things there, and we are making good use of that storage facility. These were some of the feminine hygiene products that we have stored there as well. And this was the hygiene project. We received so many donations from people. I publicized this on Facebook, and I had people from my former state of Midland, Michigan, shipping us literally hundreds of feminine hygiene products to be used for our project hygiene. But I think that speaks to the power of Rotary too and relationships. It was kind of a banner year as well. We had a couple of banners made. Of course, the one on the left here is a little bit more formal, but the one on the right is the one that I think we truly, I truly enjoy. We had our social event. this was just a fantastic event. We were blessed to have Angie's mom here, Karen, and Angie graced us with her beautiful voice. And this was just a fun event. Linda Moen and her husband, and John and Gloria there. And Jim Stump, Rosemary. This was just a fun event. And I thank the organizers for that. And her husband there, and I think that's Pete.
Mhm.
Yeah, Pete.
This was the district gala. We had fun here. It was nice to have Tim and Dana there, and we have Mr. T here, and this is Jaya Werner, Jenny. It was a good event. And this was a young man who participated in the science fair at Sedgefield. I was just so impressed with this kid. I asked him if I could take a picture of him because he was the only kid I saw that wore a coat and a tie. And I just love this. And he did an awesome job with this presentation too. This kid's going places. And Salvation Army. When I was looking at these pictures last night and bringing them up, I was like, who is this dude with the beard?
Right.
that's Sean. It's like, whoa, all right. I love it.
Fortunately, mine looks like I've got a great big bib.
We don't need to be talking about beards now. Come on.
No, I said bib.
This is coming off after Father's Day.
All right. Okay. Right. But again, what an outstanding time this is. I love everything about it. You meet some wonderful people, and we've been doing this for so many years now. It's great. Another great tradition of this club, and we do it for all the right reasons. This is something probably most of you have not seen, but we actually participated a little bit. This was a coat drive. We had a speaker, and I forget her name, but she spoke to us about Operation Warm Coats.
Warm Coat.
Like yeah. So Jenny and I actually participated in this. We helped to sponsor the club that bought some coats for the kids at Sterling Elementary, and we did this event here. Rotary Youth Exchange, another thing that Jenny and I are kind of passionate about. And of course, many of you recognize our own, well, not our own, but Rotarian John Lukey in this picture. These kids were just getting their assignments for Youth Exchange. Karen Steffens here does an awesome job with Youth Exchange. And these kids were just finding out what countries they were going to be going to. John Lukey does an awesome job with this as well. He really helps Karen with the planning and the interviewing of the students. Jenny and I do some of the interviewing as well. It's just a fun process because what we're looking at here is truly the future of the world. These kids have experiences that change their lives, so it's fun to be kind of a tangential part of this. Of course, Youth Exchange is going to change dramatically in the face of COVID. They're talking about virtual exchanges for the upcoming year. Not really sure how that's going to work, but it's going to be different for sure. Then of course there's this, right? This happened. I was hoping it would be more of a distant memory by now, but unfortunately it isn't. COVID hit us and things just kind of changed. One of the things that changed, and I had such fun working with Eric and Kelly at Promising Pages. They did an incredible job getting books boxed up and sent out as part of the meals to be distributed during the meals. There's Kelly and Dana in the background labeling. I mean, these guys literally worked night and day to get these books ready. Kelly and Eric, was it 68,000 books?
Over
They're obviously not paying any
70,000.
attention.
Over 70.
2,000 between March 16th and this past Tuesday.
Wow. So you guys are still doing it.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. Over 70,000.
Yeah, you see Taylor and Kelly are cleaning books as we speak.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're muted and it took a minute.
Yeah.
It's a little
busy.
squeaky. It's a little squeaky in here cleaning board books, so that's why we're on mute.
Well, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate what you guys have done and continue to do, obviously, because this is again so vital. You know, as we look at education and literacy, this is the stuff that makes a difference. This is the stuff that keeps our kids engaged, and it's what Rotary needs to be involved with. So,
Well, we are happy to do it and grateful to all of you for continuing to support us. Glad to be a part of this.
absolutely. And I'll share with Kelly shared with us just this past week that they were the recipients of a $2,000 grant from the Big Charlotte Club, which I thought was extremely kind. And finally, I had to share this picture. This is today's reality. So Jenny and I wear these masks even when we're around one another. So
Is she standing?
Wow.
Hey, Kevin,
yes.
the speaker for the warm coats was Tamika Brantley.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tamika Brantley. That's right. All right. So folks, that's all I have. I just wanted to share that year in review with you, and I wanted to thank you. There's so many things that I didn't cover. One thing that popped into my mind as I was going over this stuff was our committees, and in particular, Jim Stump with your care committee. I can't thank you enough for the outstanding job you did in keeping up with us and in keeping up with our health and well-being, and for your work in sending out cards, sympathy cards, and just keeping us human. I really appreciate that, sir. You are a gentleman, and I cannot thank you enough. I want to thank each of you for your work as Rotarians, for your community involvement, for your heart. Because that's who we are. That's what we do. So, thank you.
Great year.
Thank you.
Give yourselves a hand. All right. Anything for the good of the order from anybody before we pass the cart buckets up?